Hi folks, so I was going to just surprise you and not do anything or say anything until I got here, but I must admit my sort of excitement and all the rest of it is kind of getting the better of me, and I'll be useless at surprise parties, I tell you. um, I can't keep quiet about stuff. It's just that, like, I'm just really excited about going. Anyway, if you can work out what this says, because I have no idea how clear this is for you. I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. But anyway, cut a long story short, if that's even possible for me. I was chatting to somebody, one of my subscribers, recent subscriber, whose name completely escapes me for a minute. But anyway. So, if I remember rightly, we were chatting on Messenger on Facebook, back and forth, chit chat. And he was interested in the fact that I was homeless for all that time, and this and that. Sort of gave him a couple of links to some of my videos back in Manchester and so on, and this, that. Anyway, upshot of it was, through this conversation, he was saying, like, it'd be great if you could go back there and maybe take some photographs, some black and white photographs of the places where you were, where you slept and all this lot, and blah blah blah. And then I sort of, like, went back and said something on the lines of, like, yeah, but I haven't really got the funds at the moment, I can't really do it, blah blah blah, it's a bit awkward, this, that and the other. And like I say, through this back and forth, he mentioned about the megabus. I mentioned the fact that I've already tried the megabus, at least online, you know what I mean? I didn't, like, what's the name, and, like, it was just a journey time, and of course I don't like coaches that much. I never have done, especially when I was a kid. I used to always get travel sick on coaches. I really hated coach travel. I much prefer trains. That's just the way I've always been, you know what I mean, ever since I was a kid. I much prefer trains. But anyway, as I said, I knew, you know what it's like with me, I can't tell a short story, can I? Anyway, the thing is that, like, it got me thinking when he was mentioning about the megabus and this, that and the other, and I'm thinking, like, it would be nice to visit home again. I haven't been there for a little while. I can't remember how long. It's not like been like years and years and years, but at least a couple of years. But I can't honestly remember exactly now off the top of my head. I think the last time I went there was it with Joanne? Or was it when I went with, and I just went there for the day for a conference, so I didn't actually visit anywhere around the town centre even, because I went for a conference with some people. Anyway, to be quite honest, that probably was the last time I actually went to Manchester, and I didn't have to pay for that anyway. So, blah blah blah. So I haven't been there for a little while, and I thought it'd be nice to go and do some videos where I've not been for a little while, and, do you know what I mean, something different and so on. And I mean, I know it's freezing cold weather. I'm going to wrap up warm, and I know it'll be colder up north because it always is. That's one of the reasons why I came to London, to get away from the cold. If you ever look at a weather map of England, and you notice where you see the temperature in Manchester and then the temperature in London, there's nearly always, not every time, because sometimes it's the opposite way around, and over the last few years, funny enough, interestingly, it has been the opposite way around. It's been colder in London than it has been in Manchester. But traditionally, for years and years and years at least, it was always 2 degrees, at least 2 degrees warmer in London. No matter what the temperature was in Manchester at the time, you always, when I used to check the weather maps and what have you, and I always noticed, or when I was watching the weather on the news, either way, I always noticed that, like, it was at least 2 degrees warmer in London. So anyway, again, I'm waffling as usual. But the thing is that, like I said, I looked into it, I checked the megabus out, the times weren't quite right, the journey time was, like, some of it was like nearly 6 hours and stuff and what have you. Although it was cheaper, there was like tons of stops along the way. I wanted something that was more direct, so from London directly to Manchester without stopping. I didn't want all that, stopping in Birmingham and this, that and blah blah blah. And so in the end, I checked out national coaches. Now they're a little bit dearer, But there was a direct coach. It left at 1 o'clock in the morning, or leaves, I should say, because I'm going tonight, essentially, or 1 o'clock in the morning. So my coach leaves at 1 o'clock in the morning. I get to Manchester for 5 past 5 in the morning. And then that gives me the whole day, all the way up to 6 o'clock in the evening, when I start my journey back to London. And so, yeah, I thought, why not? Let's go for it. Anyway, I must admit, so what happened was, this shows you it's convoluted. This is another reason why I much prefer trains, because they're much more straightforward. As far as I'm concerned, my experience has always been it's far more straightforward. It's a lot faster, obviously. 2 hours on the train. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, granted, it's a lot more expensive. We're talking, you could easily go up anywhere to £100, all depending on the time and day and so on and so forth and so forth. Sorry, there was a bit of a noise in the kitchen. Spot's investigating. Yeah. Spot the investigator, look. That Spot's investigating, look. Hang on, let's get away from that fan. Yay, Spotty! Hello! What was that noise, son? I heard a bang. And it's not the washing machine either. Another washing machine's making a click and clang and what have you, but that was... Oh, anyway, whatever. Sorry, yeah. Distraction. Ooh, squirrel! Yeah, so... so anyway... see, I've completely distracted myself. What the heck was I just wittering on about? So yeah, so like I said, it gives me the whole day in Manchester, and yeah, the trains are a lot more expensive. They're a lot quicker though. They're a lot less hassle, and you can buy your ticket there and then on the day. Sometimes it's cheaper, obviously, these days to book stuff online. Sometimes I do that, but I don't do it that often, to be quite honest. I much prefer to buy it on the day. And then, like I say, basically, like I say, you know, it's just so much less hassle. Anyway, so I go to the National Coach Station after my shift, after work, because it's literally round the corner from my shop anyway. So I'm in Victoria, and the coach station is in Victoria, so it's pretty straightforward in that sense. So I went to the thing, and from when I checked it online, it was going to cost roughly about 22 quid. Anyway, of course, like I say, that's if you book it online and blah blah blah. But the thing is, you have to print out tickets, I think, and I ain't got any printing ink for my computer, so I can't print the tickets out. So if it was a case of printing your tickets and then taking them, it was going to be, you know what I mean, especially with the Megabus one, national coaches. I don't know if you pick up the tickets when you get there, I must admit. Anyway, blah 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 blah. So I go down there, and it turns out it's going to be £38. So I'm like, do you know what I mean? That's pushing it. It was pushing it at 22, but 38 quid. And I'm standing there and umming and ahhing. But in the end, I thought, like, look, we're here. Do you know what I mean? We've got a little bit of spare cash at the moment. Not a lot, as usual, but, you know, it's like, I'm not going to be doing this every day of the week. You know what I mean? And I haven't been home for a while, and, you know, it'd be kind of nice thing to do, and so on and so forth. So I thought, okay, let's go for it. So reluctantly, I paid 38 quid. But then there was a mix-up with the times. I said to her, because like I said, early hours of the morning. Now maybe she didn't hear me or whatever, I don't know. But I said any time in the early hours of the morning, because I know there was one from 1 o'clock. Like, this is the one I'm going to get now. So anyway, I said like 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, early hours, blah blah blah. So maybe she misheard, I don't know, whatever the situation. Anyway, I bought the tickets and everything, and off I trot. And as I'm walking back towards to my shop and Victoria train station, and to get the tube back here and what have you, I noticed that it said 15:30. And I think, hang on, 24-hour clock, 15:30. That's 3:30 in the afternoon. And then, like, getting to Manchester for quarter to 10 in the evening. I'm thinking, what? No, hang on, that's not. So I double checked, I looked again, and yeah, definitely that was the wrong time. So I had to go all the way back to the bus station, and I had to explain. Luckily, I got the same woman to what's their name, and like, she wasn't happy about it. She was like, it's like I made a mistake or something. I'm thinking, well, no, it was just a misunderstanding essentially. It's not like, do you know what I mean? But anyway, so the upshot of that was I had to pay an extra £5 to change the time. I had to pay an extra £5 on top of what I'd already paid. Do you know what I mean? That's like flipping it, you know. And the thing is, it's non-refundable. That's the other thing. Once I'd bought the ticket, I can't. You know, it says it on the ticket. In fact, if you guys, I don't know if you noticed that, but it says non-refundable. So you buy that ticket, and that's it. If you, for whatever reason, decide that you're not going to go or whatever, it's too late. You bought the ticket, and it's non-refundable. So, you know, it was a case of like I didn't really have any choice. I had to pay the extra £5 to change the time. You know, it's like, oh, for crying out loud, do you know what I mean? Anyway, so it's all done. It's done and dusted. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I can't not go. And, you know, like I said, so, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? But again, like I said, this is another reason why I prefer the trains, because to me, in my experience, now I'm not saying that they can't have mix-ups like this and what have you, and blah 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 and all the rest of it. I'm sure other people's experiences, because I've travelled to Manchester since I've been here in London. Oops, sorry, oh, my arm's aching. I haven't got the thing on at the moment. I'm just holding the camera. So I've travelled back to Manchester, I don't know how many times since I've lived here, at least. A good few times at least. I can't, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you exactly. I mean, I'm going to say off the top of my head at least 4. It might be a little bit more than that, but I can't remember. The chances are it's probably a bit more than that. But I wouldn't say much more than 5 times back to Manchester. And every time it's been on the train, it's the first time I'm doing the coach. And every single time I've ever travelled on the train, it's a Virgin train as well, usually. And even though it's been a little bit expensive, like I say, anywhere between 70 and 80 or 90 quid, do you know what I mean? Depending on time and so on, and day and so forth. And also depending if you book it in advance and so on and what have you. But like I said, the thing is that, you know, even though it be a bit more expensive, it's always been really, really straightforward. You know, I buy my tickets either on the day or I book them online, and like I pick them up at the station or whatever sort of thing. I've done that a few times, and you know, and it's all pretty straightforward, like I said. And then I just get on the train. 2 hours later, back in, you know, I'm in Manchester, and I find them really relaxing on trains. I don't feel as stressed. On a coach, I get stressed. Do you know what I mean? With all the stopping and starting at traffic lights, and do you know what I mean? And this, that, and the other. And now I've got a direct one. These are supposed to be direct, so there's no stopping. Do you know what I mean? We go from London straight to Manchester, and hopefully there's no stops along the way. It's 4 hours. It's supposed to take around about 4 hours. So, you know, I can live with that, just about. But, you know, I hate coach travel. Absolutely hate coach travel. Oh, boy. I mean, unlike, say, coaches in other countries where they have much bigger roads and, you know, like, say, in the States, for instance, the Greyhound bus, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm just speculating here, but, you know, from what you see on the movies and so forth, you know, it's a big, long, straight road that goes on for miles and miles and miles and miles, you know what I mean? And there's very little traffic and there's no traffic lights, whereas in England, we've got all these little country roads and we've got all these little towns and this, that, and the other that you go through, and there's tons of traffic lights and so forth. I mean, okay, we get onto the motorway at some point, I'm sure we do, but, you know, the thing is that, like, do you know what I mean? It just can be so convoluted, and what have you sort of thing. But anyway, do you know what I mean? It's just I really don't like coach travel. I really don't, you know. But like I said, I thought to myself, you know what? It is a heck of a lot cheaper, and you know, I can just about do it. You know what I mean? So rather than have to wait and save up or whatever, and this and you know, blah blah blah, and do you know what I mean, and all the rest of it, I thought, let's just go for it. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to get, you know, and visit home for a couple of hours at least. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, okay. So, I want to put this video up, basically give you a heads up, let you know what's happening. As I said, initially I was thinking, no, wait until I get to Manchester and I'll do a video and I'll go like, so folks, here we are just after my shift, and I thought I'd just take you around a part of London that you've never seen before. I was just gonna, like, you know what I mean, I was just gonna have a bit of fun with you guys and just kind of like see what your reaction would be initially. Of course I would have, obviously, and it would have become obvious eventually anyway, so obviously I would have like let on eventually what the score was, but I thought, no, let's do a video now, and then, because like, otherwise, because I was thinking to myself, by the time I get down there, I do the videos, and then I get back, because I won't be getting back to London until about 9 or 20 past, half past 9 in the evening, do you know what I mean? And then, of course, I'll go edit and so forth and what have you. And I'm thinking, by the time I've done all that, you guys ain't going to see any of those videos until Sunday. And you know me, I don't like leaving the channel, even for a day, if I can help it, without something. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, so basically, that's where we're up to at the moment. So, like I say, also, oh yeah, just remembered, I thought to myself, mental note I made earlier on before I made this video, to mention that if you guys leave comments on this video, obviously, because I'll be out of town, out of town, that sounds weird, but because obviously I won't be here and what have you sort of thing, I'm not going to be able to respond quickly, so you know, if you guys want to leave comments, that's fine, but like I say, I probably won't be able to get back to you on those comments until Sunday, I guess, maybe Saturday night, but more than likely Sunday, because I'll be trying to edit some of these videos when I get back on the Saturday evening anyway. So yeah, so basically, like I say, that's what's going to be happening. So alright folks, for the time being, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm really looking forward to going back home for a couple of hours at least, and I'll film some places where I slept and what have you. I don't know actually, I don't know if I'm going to be quite honest, because I've done several videos about that anyway, but somebody, the subscriber who mentioned and who sort of kicked this all off for me in a sense, did mention taking some photographs, so I may go and take some photographs of some of the places where I slept, and even sort of mentioned doing some sort of like black and white images of it, which I thought, actually, excuse me, sorry, that might not be such a bad idea. I kind of like that idea, it kind of appeals to me, I like that. Anyway, so, yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to film when I get there, but because I want to try and film something that I didn't film last time I was there, places that you guys have not seen before or whatever, or at least some of you anyway. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely leaving it there for now, and I shall catch you guys later. Bye for now.